Imagine watching a film where every scene is backed by reggae's greatest voices. It wasn't entertainment, it was a cultural revolution. In 1978, rockers hit the screens and forever changed how the world saw Jamaica. More than just a movie, it was a socio-political time capsule. An authentic look at reggae, Rastafari, and the struggles of life in 1970s Kingston. Today, we're diving deep into the story, the stars, and the legacy of this musical and visual masterpiece. The movie was directed by Theodoros Ted Bafaloukos, a Greek-American photographer and filmmaker. He came to Jamaica to capture reggae culture, but what he found was a story too powerful to remain a documentary. Thus, Rockers became a narrative film that blurred the lines between fiction and reality, as there is an almost mystical feeling to be derived from watching and understanding Rastafari culture. The film unfolds like a Robin Hood tale, following Leroy Horsemouth Wallace, a drummer trying to make a living by selling records in the rough Kingston streets. However, when gangsters steal his motorbike, Horsemouth and his friends plot his revenge, ultimately redistributing justice and dignity to Kingston's poor while uncovering corruption along the way. At its core, the movie is about survival, resistance, and community. It's a story of one man standing up against corruption, with reggae music as his weapon. Luckily for us, the documentarian nature of the director resulted in one of the most authentic depictions of Rastafari life and reggae culture ever filmed. Shot in about 2 months with a budget of 500,000 Jamaican dollars, about 40,000 US dollars. The film premiered at the 1978 San Francisco Film Festival and had a theatrical release in the US in 1980. Janet Maslin of the New York Times highlighted the film's funny, offbeat players and sinuous reggae score. Q Classic wrote, "What makes Rockers so splendid is both that it is entirely natural, as the Rastafari speech verges on impenetrable and subtitles are essential for most, and its stellar cast." Jamaican novelist Marlon James, writing for GQ magazine, opined, "Don't bother watching for the plot. You watch Rockers for the dazzling feats of Jamaica's fashion imagination. Sweater vests, tracksuits, sweater vest with tracksuits. Suits tailored for a wedding but put to better use at a party." Despite depicting a grittily real Jamaica, Rockers is in essence similar to a mid-60s pop B-movie, a feeble plot bolstered by some pop stars trying to act, between singing a few songs. A defining moment in the film is after procuring the funds to buy a motorbike for transport, Horsemouth decided to commission his friend Jaw Wise to paint a Lion of Judah on both sides of the gas tank. This decision would prove pivotal to the story, as it would give the motorcycle its defining mark, as the film starts off as a loose interpretation of Vittorio De Sica's 1948 film Bicycle Thieves, and turns into a reggae interpretation of the Robin Hood myth. With his preferred means of transportation secured, our protagonist, Horsemouth, is successfully consigned vinyl records to distribute in the streets from Jack Ruby and Joe Gibbs Manufacturing Company. The film also features Randy's Record Mart, the largest Jamaican music store of its time. The film includes Kidisai's recording of Graduation in Zion at Harry J. Studio, where he happened to be recording when Bafaloukos visited to do some filming. What a happy coincidence. Horsemouth pays a visit to singer Jacob Miller at Channel One Studios, where many roots reggae artists recorded during the 1970s, including Bob Marley. Miller asked Horsemouth to play drums with him and members of the band Inner Circle Band at a gig in a tourist resort, and being strapped for cash, he agrees. When Horsemouth goes to the resort to sign for the job, he gets acquainted with the owner's daughter, Sunshine. That night, Horsemouth's bike is stolen, and this leaves the once cheerful Rastafarian extremely depressed. After losing his bike, Horsemouth seeks solace within the community and is soothed by the calming voice of a friend. A friend played by the incomparable Winston Rodney, more commonly known as Burning Spear.
We try to fool the black population by telling them that Georgia gay. And they try to fool the black population by telling them that Georgia gay. I and I knows God, Jah know day. Janody.
After showing up to his gig at the hotel and producing a stellar performance, Horsemouth is seen speaking with Sunshine by the antagonist hotel owner, and is subsequently reprimanded. This leads to one of the most memorable and quoted monologues in film history.
Sure. You see, if you never truly little daughter there, I'm gonna mash up the ballhead, brother there. Jano, but what? I do what? Don't deal with violence. I is peaceful Rasta man. I don't steal, cheat. You see it? I man serve. Selassie I continually. No matter what the weak heart say. And I know that I is like a tree that planted by the river of water. And not even the dog that piss against the wall of Babylon shall escape this judgment. For I know what? I know that all of you youth shall witness the day that Babylon shall fall.
This harsh treatment ultimately leads to Sunshine helping the rebel and his friends to recover his bike and other stolen goods. During the following days, Sunshine discovers that the robbers are her father's hired men, who run an organized crime scheme led by Sunshine's father. With her help, Horsemouth and his friends recover his motorbike. However, the manager of the hotel recognizes the bike as one they had previously stolen and set thugs upon Horsemouth to recover the recovered stolen property. After retreating to the hills to replenish his strength, Horsemouth visits his mother to receive her blessing before returning to Kingston to hatch a plan to recover the stolen goods. Horsemouth returns to Kingston where he gathers all of his most dangerous friends, Bunny Wailer, Kidasai, Robbie Shakespeare, Gregory Isaacs, Dirty Harry, Jacob Miller, Leroy Smart, and Big Youth, as they infiltrate the warehouse containing the stolen goods, break into the hotel owner's mansion and steal his clothes. Food Furniture then proceed to distribute the items amongst the disenfranchised ghetto people as the events come to a satisfying end. There is a subtle charm in how the movie was able to capture real Jamaican mannerisms, language, and community spirit. No wonder this movie is considered a literal visual archive of 1970s Jamaica, preserving a moment in time when reggae was at its peak. Rockers gave the world a front-row seat to Jamaica's heartbeat. It wasn't polished Hollywood, it was raw, real, unforgettably, and unapologetically Jamaican. This movie was beautifully shot. There are so many great scenes and sequences to choose from. Many of the scenes are great, such as the opening chant against the system, or Burning Spear singing to comfort a heartbroken friend who fell victim to theft, or even the comedic tone of Gregory Isaacs breaking into a tourist car. Because he was a locksmith, and they had locked their keys in the car, but none had the power and sovereignty of the main character, Leroy Horsemouth Wallace. The film was shot on location in Kingston and Ocho Rios. The soundtrack is a reggae goldmine, featuring classics like Satta Masagana by the Abyssinians, Book of Rules by the Heptones, and Graduation in Zion by Kidis Layon. This film is often compared to The Harder They Come, which was shot in 1972, but with a more community-driven, uplifting tone. Decades later, Rocker still resonates with the reggae faithful. It is more than a film. It's a movement, a reminder that music and culture can fight injustice and uplift communities.